Everybody, welcome back to Doug Tech Talks. I'm your host, Eddie Horton, and today we're going to be talking about 1960s, 1970s vans. Stuff is so cool. Yeah, they were terrible gas mileage. They leaked oil. They leaked transmission fluid. In 1960, Chevy made the first van. It was a terrible looking thing. And you know what they had? Personality. These things were awesome.
I want my cool wave brakes.
Alright, let's get serious. On the underneath side of this van, when you're buying your first 60 or 70s van, when you're getting your rig and you're going to take it for a test drive if this thing runs, one of the things you're going to be looking for is, how's it ride? How's the suspension feel? Does it feel loose and sloppy, or is it nice and tight and got a good ride? The other thing you're going to watch out for is, you smell anything. You smell any coolant, you smell any oil. Now, I'm not saying that if this stuff happens, you have to walk away from the van. But what I am saying is, if you're not handy with the tools, just beware that you're going to have these things fixed at a garage. Some of these parts are hard to put on. They're not easy to work inside of. The engine is nowhere near the hood. It's all the way inside the vehicle. And if you're not good with your tools, you could make a mess of your beautiful interior. Look around on the underneath side of this thing. Do you see a bunch of rust? Is this something you think you can tackle? Is it something, you can say, well, it looks bad, but maybe I can fix it? These vans are a dime a dozen out there. There's tons of them in all different shapes and sizes, but also in all different states of repair. So make sure you're buying your van, you get one that you can repair. You don't want to end up sitting with it in the backyard and your wife yelling at you because it looks like it's turning into a yard ornament. All right, we don't want to do that. That will not go over well when you want to buy that boat next year. All right, so now let's keep going on with this. Another thing you're going to check out when you're buying your van is, what year is it, and do some homework. Some of these vans are very rare and they're hard to find parts for. If you end up with a rig like that, you're going to be hating life because it'll take you twice as long to build your rig the way you want it. Now, let's get into the fun part. The fun part, it's the interior. I'm telling you, you've not seen anything till you've seen a 60s, 70s van interior with a couch all laid out. A TV, yeah, the tube type, not a flat screen. I'm talking the tube type TV that weighed more than the engine that was in the front. That's how they got some of these below riders. TV in the back, engine in the front, squeeze it down. Not really, I'm just making that up. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do on the interior of this van. Most of them have a lot of angel hair on the ceilings. You can do wood grain inside this thing. You can do air conditioning so it stays cool, heating so it stays warm. In the back, you can have a refrigerator in it. You can have a VHS player if you still got those tapes. And then you can do separate stereos. You can do a stereo for the front of this rig when you're driving down the road. You're listening to it. Oh, yeah, getting on it. But when you stop and you don't want to be playing that stereo because you're in the back, you can put another stereo in the rig and open the rear doors and play your music back there on an auxiliary battery. So you're not using the rig's battery. I'm telling you, the ideas are endless for this stuff. You can put captain's chairs in it. You can put a bed in it. You can put an automatic bed in it. So it's a couch while you're driving, a bed when you get to where you're going. You don't even need a hotel room. Colors. Colors are everything. They got red. They got velours. They got crushed velvet. They got blue shags. Everything that you could think of in a van goes. Don't be afraid to mix it up. Don't be afraid to go out and find something that nobody else has and put in your van. Heck, I'm thinking about putting a disco ball in mine. Maybe. That is glass. And it might fall and hurt me. But it'd be cool. So it's kind of worth the hurt sometimes. Now listen, when you're doing the interior of your van, you can spend a little bit of money, or you can just find stuff you got laying around your house, or you can go out and go all out and buy everything brand new. If you buy everything brand new, take your time, do it right, don't make a mess. Now, if you make a mess, don't worry. There's places all over the United States that do van interiors from the 60s and 70s, period-specific stuff I'm talking about. There's one other van I'd like to share with you. These vans are called the Survivors. The Survivors are awesome. And let me tell you why the Survivors are awesome. Back in the 60s and 70s, they would paint these vans with murals that you've never seen murals like the stuff they did. I'm talking airbrushing for weeks. Guess what? They're out there. They're in Arizona, California. They're out there floating around. They've got them airbrushed all out the whole side of the van. That's the best part. Guess where it's been? It's been sitting in somebody's backyard in California, not rusting. You get this van, you just redo what they've already had, and you don't do anything to the outside. You fix the interior, you make it run, new suspension. It's called a Survivor. One of the coolest things you can do with a 60s and 70s van. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is when you're buying your van. There's one more van I want to tell you about. That's the last thing we're going to talk about on this series. If you don't know what you want, or you've seen a lot of stuff and you got your own idea, go out and buy you a cargo van. Where do you think these vans started out anyway? If you buy an already done van of a conversion because it's got the roof on the top of it, you buy a cargo van. Everybody knows what a Vista Cruiser is, right? You go out and get you a Vista Cruiser wagon, bring it home, cut the top of this thing off and put it on your van. Now you got a Vista Cruiser top on your van. There's a lot of people doing that. It's a real cool look. They fit great, and if you do it right, they don't leak. Now, you get a cargo van, this thing's a blank slate. Anything you want to do, and they're usually cheaper, and you get them with power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, a good heating system, everything you need, and they run and drive perfect. With a cargo van, you get a little bit heavier suspension sometimes, and so when you go to put all your stuff in there, all this wood, carpet, and stuff that's heavy, you're not going to need to upgrade your suspension to handle that weight. It's already there. But cargo vans are great because it's just that, a blank slate, and you can do what you want to do to it. All right, now, last thing we're going to talk about the cargo vans versus conversion vans. They're a lot cheaper than the conversion vans. And plus, somebody's already done a bunch of work to those. You want to get in there and rip out brand new interior just so you can make it your own. Unless you got an unlimited supply of money, which I don't. And they don't. And they don't. The guy back there way in the back, he don't either. All right, other thing that we're going to talk about tonight is the Law Dog Bite of the Day. Don't get bit by the dog. Although interior lights are very cool on your van, it is illegal in the state of Illinois to drive around with your interior lights on. So, turn them off, keep them off, until you're stopped on the side of the road. And that's the Law Dog Bite of the Day. Stay away from the dog or you'll get bit.
I want my cool wave brakes.
Alright, tonight's show brought to you by AP Cigar. And you're going to go see Mike Weller over there. He has a top line of cigars that are second to none. If you ain't getting your cigar from Mike, you're doing it wrong. So check out the number at the bottom of the screen and give him a call. Another sponsor tonight, MrTaillight.com. He's in Edison, Ohio. You want to go check him out. You want to see Steve. Tell Steve I sent you. The number's at the bottom of the screen here. Give him a call. He's got all your body parts, light kits, tail lights. And soon to come, he's even going to have some of these awesome cool wave brakes. All right, that's all we got time for tonight at this episode of Dove Tech Talks.